What If Episode 1, Captain Carter. First up, I really tried to go in with this with an open mind. I'd watched the trailer, wasn't particularly keen on the animation style, but I thought, yeah, well, let's give it a shot here. I did enjoy some of the comics that I've read in What If. Just being upfront, haven't read a huge amount of the What If comics. Of the ones I have read, quite enjoyed them. But I gotta say, this first episode kind of left me feeling disappointed. I really liked the character of Peggy Carter in the movie and in the TV show, Agent Carter and the one shot. So I was looking forward to seeing what we do with the character. But it really just kind of felt as if, what if we just put Peggy in instead of Steve, and that was pretty much it. I didn't get a huge sense of character development, didn't get a huge sense of, where we're going with this. And for me, that kind of brings me on to the next point of who's this show for? This first episode. If you weren't familiar with the Captain America movie, if you didn't know, I hadn't seen it recently in terms of what happens in that movie, I just wonder, would you really understand what this movie means? Sorry, would you really understand what this episode means in relation to the movie? There was a lot of reference to things that happen in the movie, but nudge, nudge, wink, wink, things are different here now in the show. For example, the whole Sebastian Stan coming back to voice Bucky. If you don't really know the story, if you don't really know the story within Captain America, the first Avenger, then that won't really make any sense. He appears in a cage if you're supposed to be surprised at one point in the show, and I'm like, well, you don't need to be surprised if you knew what happened to him in the movie. But if you're watching this for the first time, if you're new to the MCU, if you're just thought, I'll check this out because it's going to be a standalone thing, I don't need to know if it happens across the MCU to enjoy, then you're going to kind of be feeling left out of a joke there. So yeah, it's kind of a strange mix in that kind of sense. It's, even though it's sort of presented as being what if, it's a separate story, a different story. It's not connected into the MCU in any real way in terms of that main continuity. I kind of got a real sense that you'd had to have watched at least the first Captain America movie to really get the gist of what was going on and understand all the nods and cues and callbacks to that movie. In terms of Peggy herself, I actually preferred Agent Carter. I think that did a much better, even just the first episode of Agent Carter did a much better job of introducing Peggy, showing some of the conflict she has to come up with, some of the challenges she's facing, but also how she can overcome this. But whereas in the What If, it was basically she just got injected by the super soldier serum, uh, and that was it. She was able to do everything she wanted to do. Got some resistance from some of the military men, in terms of changing command, but again, that didn't make a huge amount of sense because she was an agent already. She was already there. So it's probably a disappointment for me. I'd probably give the episode a 5 out of 10 if I've been generous. I think they could have done things differently and made it more either approachable for new people coming into the MCU, or be very clear that this is, you should be watching a recap, if anything, if not the whole movie of Captain America first before you enjoy this. And just a little thing for me, in the UK, I'm based in the UK, so when we talked about again when she's breaking out kind of the Howling Commandos from the Hydra base, I think it's Dun sort of mentions that she's the queen. I'm like, well, World War Two is in the 40s and we had a king back then. We didn't get a queen until like the 50s. So that made no sense. So just a little thing like that. But again, why can't all these people getting paid all this money just fact check things and get that right? So yeah, it's a little bugbear for me. Overall, my plan is to review each episode and perhaps do a kind of season one review. Because looking at the trailers and just from what I've seen so far, it makes me think that they are heading towards some sort of, what do I call it, Guardians of the Multiverse, Avengers of the Multiverse, where it's Carter and others coming together to fight some sort of threat or some sort of force. So I think that might change some of my views on this first episode once I've kind of seen the whole season. So that's definitely something I'm planning on doing. But yeah, just if you want to see, a good example of Peggy, I'd really recommend just watching the Marvel one shot. It's about 15 minutes. and it has the same sort of characters. So it has in this one the general, it kind of takes over. He's her boss. In this one, it's set after World War Two. She's back in civilian life, sort of thing. Well, not civilian life, but she's out of the army. She's in civilian clothes, but she's still an agent for, I think, the what will become Shield eventually. And she encounters the same sort of nonsense from guys around her, just not supporting her and kind of holding her back as she sees it. But really, the one shot kind of does a really good way of presenting that and how she overcomes that and kind of becomes the person we know she becomes, one of the founding members of Shield. So yeah, I definitely recommend the one shot over this episode of What If. But again, be keen to know what other people feel. So please do put in the comments, or reach out to me on Insta or Twitter to kind of share your views of the episode and the future episodes coming up and what you kind of hope to see if we do go down this road of the Guardians of the Multiverse. For me, my kind of final thought would be, if you're desperate for MCU content or desperate for Peggy Carter content, watch everything else first, then come to this if you're still interested. And I give it a 5 out of 10. I don't think that will change much once I watch the rest of the season. But thank you for checking out my video. Please do hit the like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. And I'll see you at some point in the future. And thank you. If you've been inspired by anything you've seen on this video, on the channel, or any of the other channels out there, then please join the fellowship. Make use of the existing talents and passions. But if you feel like you don't have those skills, you want to improve those skills, well, Skillshare can help. I use it all the time, whether it's for creating YouTube thumbnails, creating guest posts, or anything like that for Instagram, or whether it's just building up your skills in front of the camera and getting used to all this technology. I know it can seem daunting to start, but once you do, it's so much easier. The hardest part is taking that first step, and to help with that first step, Skillshare's there. It won't cost you anything at all to try out the free trial, and it will also help support the channel. So please do make use of Skillshare, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.